Hello, everyone. Good to see you, or not see you, because I can't see anybody on this end. But hopefully, you're out there and having a good week. It's been a hell of a few weeks, huh? And this week, particularly for me, has been a very interesting week. So, anyway, I wanted to share with you an original Yoga Nidra. So, a lot of the Yoga Nidras I've done over the past few weeks. And just in general, I usually defer to tradition or to teachers that I've studied with, and I use their tools that they gave me to lead Yoga Nidra. But oftentimes in class, when I'm doing Yoga Nidra at the end of a yoga class, I don't really have a script. I just base it on um, either ideas that I've gotten by leading other Yoga Nidras or just my own intuitive sense with it. And so I have come up with it's a relatively short Yoga Nidra, but it's an original Yoga Nidra that I came up with. So I hope you enjoy it and I hope you find it useful. So again, for anyone newer to this practice, Yoga Nidra can be translated as sleep meditation. And today I'm thinking probably the last 15-20 minutes max. And it's very good for stress and stress-related disorders, which there are many. So many of modern illnesses are either caused directly by stress or they are exacerbated by stress. So in general, people find change stressful. And that's exactly what we're going through right now is a period of rather profound and dramatic change in our country, and I think throughout the world, really. Maybe you can find pockets. There's maybe somewhere you could go in the world that change isn't happening, but I think the pandemic is pretty much affecting everybody on the planet to a greater or lesser degree. So I'm not sure that you can run or hide from this period in our history on this planet. I think, perhaps what's going on for us right now is going to touch every corner of the world. The good thing to remember, regardless of our own personal heartache and this pandemic, I don't want you to think that I live in an ivory tower and that I am somehow shielded from the events that are happening right now. These events have touched me personally, financially, and then in terms of the people that I love. This has had a very direct impact on me. So, but my tools that I've learned through yoga have helped me through this period. And so that's what I hope to share with you is tools and practices and support that help get you through this. Now, here's the thing to remember. Generally speaking, from a spiritual perspective, the change is always for the ultimate good. Will we like it always? No, not necessarily. So again, things might happen, changes might happen. We don't want it. We try and resist it. I understand. But if we can keep in mind the big picture, that the change is always ultimately for the ultimate good, then hopefully we can surrender to the change that's happening. We can flow with it and go with it, and we will find that we are delivered exactly where we need to be. Okay? So, Yoga Nidra, sleep meditation. To do this, you want to lay down very comfortably. You'd like to be in a place that maybe is a little bit dark, or you place something over your eyes. You'd also like it to be a place that's quiet, relatively quiet. So if you have animals, if you have children, people who might disturb you, you might tell them that you're going to be meditating for the next 20 minutes or so and to please not disturb you. Then there are two main instructions for Yoga Nidra. One is you'd like to be still throughout the practice, and I know that's challenging for some folks, but you want to do the best you can. And the other thing is you would like to remain alert or awake. Now, if you think for a second about your day, those two things don't go together so well, do they? Usually when we are still, we're sort of zoning out, we're watching a television program, we're reading a book, we're going to sleep. All of those things are not things that we want to do during Yoga Nidra. And then on the other hand, if we're alert, we're probably driving our car, or we've just had a cup of coffee, or our boss is yelling at us or something. We're stressed out. We're really alert when we're afraid. So Yoga Nidra is bringing these two kind of seeming opposite states and bringing them together: alertness and a deep, deep sense of relaxation. Okay? So it's not really something that you can do. It's something that you allow to happen. But intention is very important. So I don't want you to be efforting, oh, I need to relax more, or oh, I need to be more alert. There's not really much you can do. It just happens. But intention, setting that intention is very, very important. Okay, so lay down, make yourself comfortable, set the intention to remain alert and awake and to remain still. And then let's begin by just taking a nice full deep breath in. And we'll exhale with a sigh and let it all out. And then again, let's take a nice full breath in, filling the lungs completely. And exhale and let it all out again. Now just let your breath be completely natural. Today, I'd like to give you the opportunity to work with a personal intention. In yoga, this is called a sankalpa. Your personal intention can be anything that you'd like to manifest in your life. The highest personal intention is to pray or to hope, to intend, to allow yourself to be a vehicle, an instrument for the divine, or what I often refer to as spirit. But your personal intention can be anything that you'd like to manifest in your life. State your intention in the first person, in the present tense, and using only affirmative language. Stay with the same intention either until it manifests or until something else takes its place. Repeat your intention to yourself silently 3 times now. Now begin to follow your breath with awareness. Sooner or later, you will notice your mind wandering from the breath. This is normal, natural, and to be expected. It's nothing to be upset about. The mind is constantly wandering. However, Normally, we don't notice it. So instead of being upset, I'm going to invite you to congratulate yourself for noticing that your mind has wandered. This may seem fairly insignificant, but I can assure you it's actually quite a big deal. However, now that you have noticed, please invite your mind to return to simply feeling the sensations that are generated with each breath. Most people's minds are like very lovable but untrained pets. Just as you aren't cruel to your pet or animal when it does something like wander off, we don't need to be cruel or unkind to our minds. Your mind is simply trying to help and do what it thinks it is expected to do. It needs to be loved and appreciated. It simply has never been trained or disciplined before, not in this way. Most people allow their mind to wander here and there without ever calling it back. So it gets used to doing what it wants to do, like a cat that spends most of its time outdoors. However, just like an untrained pet, an untrained mind can get into a lot of trouble and create a lot of problems for its owner. So every time your mind wanders, gently and kindly invite it back to experiencing the next breath. Never worry about the previous breath. If you missed it, it is gone, and there's nothing to be upset about. Simply focus on feeling the breath that you are breathing right now, fully. And now the next breath, and so on, until you notice that the mind has wandered again. When you do notice, now you know exactly what to do. Now, as you continue to follow your breath, notice that your body begins to relax very naturally. And as your body begins to relax, your breath naturally begins to slow down, all on its own. And as your breath begins to slow down, notice that your thinking also begins to slow down. And as your thinking slows, notice that you can feel your body relax even more deeply. And as your body relaxes more and more deeply with each breath, notice that your breathing becomes softer and more shallow. And as your breath gets softer and more shallow, you begin to notice the space that is between each and every breath. Notice these spaces getting longer and longer. In fact, you may barely be breathing at all. And your breath might pause naturally for an extended period of time, all on its own. You are simply observing what is happening, making no effort to make anything happen. Now begin to notice that just as there is more space between each breath, there is also more space between each thought. Notice the space that is both between and around each thought. Does this space have a border or a boundary? Are you separate from this space? Are you inside of this space? Or are you this space? Don't ask your mind because it doesn't know the answer. Now let's bring our attention to the point that is between the eyebrows. In yoga, this is called the third eye. Holding your attention at this point, repeat your personal intention or sankalpa 3 times silently to yourself. Let this intention drop into that deep, empty space inside of you. This space is like fertile soil in which our dreams, intentions can manifest. A key to manifesting these desires is letting go of them. So after you've repeated your intention, put it out of your mind and let it go. Return your attention or awareness now to your breathing. Gradually begin to deepen your breath. Begin to move your body, stretch, and wake yourself up. Take your time, there's no hurry. When you feel you're ready, make your way up to seated. Take a moment with your eyes closed to just notice what you feel in the mind, in the heart, and in the gut. There's no right answer. You're just noticing what's there. Free of judgment or expectation. Innocent, open, free. You may now open your eyes. So I want to thank you for sharing your practice this afternoon. I hope that you got a lot from that. If you'd like to do this again, I'll be posting this on my Patreon page in the next few days. You can go back and watch it as many times as you like. I am making these offerings on a donation basis. Like many people, I've had a lot of trouble with collecting unemployment. My situation is fairly unique as a yoga teacher and subcontractor, but also at one studio I'm an employee, and that kind of messed everything up. So thankfully, your generous support has been keeping me afloat, and of course I am trying to support my students with these videos and things of that nature. So if there is some way that I can support you during this time, please let me know. On Sunday, I am going to get some of the community together in Decatur Cemetery for what's called a satsang, which is like a community gathering basically. We're going to do Yoga Nidra. We're going to do Yin Yoga. We're going to do some chanting, all outside with social distancing. So we can get together as a group physically, but we will be physically spaced out and outside is much, much safer than indoors. So if you'd like to join for that, again, check out the Patreon page. The links should be there in the description. If you got any questions for me, let me know. Anyway, it should be a beautiful weekend. So whether you join us on Sunday or not, have a beautiful weekend, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Namaste.